Hi guys, I'm back. So in this video, we're going to discuss the law and weight loss, okay? And how my weight loss journey has been since that video I posted about how I found the law, and it talked about how I went through like the tumor and the surgery and all that, and I like gained serious weight because they had me on all kinds of meds. They had me on a lot of steroids. I think I gained probably like 70 pounds. And I think I have less than 20 pounds left to go, literally. So how have I lost it? By not working out, I'll tell you that. So how I've lost, I would say 50, 60 pounds of it. And this is exactly how I did it. So if you really want to know, I would stay and watch this, okay? Because this is important. So basically, I didn't do any techniques. I didn't do scripting. I didn't do stats. I didn't do any affirmations. I didn't do any of that. None of that, okay? What I did was I assumed myself back to how I was before I had the tumor and the surgery and everything, right? What was my weight before that? Because I was thinner then. Like most of my life, I've always been thin, a thin person. I don't want to be now that I got curves though, look, disclaimer here. Once I got curves though, I want to keep some curves. I never want to go back to 4'11", 100 pounds, 95-pound person like I was before. I actually like having some curves. I don't want to be huge by any means, but I don't want to be a stick either. I realize now just how thin I was back in that day before I had my surgery and I gained all that weight, because I've never been big like that before. So that was the first time in my life of being quite a bit overweight like that. So I want to keep some curves, but not go back to that original weight where my body likes to stay and be and how I've always been. Okay, so how did I do it? So losing the 40 or 50 pounds, whatever, 60. Guys, I can't even tell you, okay? All I know is I'm about probably 20 pounds to go, if that. I don't weigh myself on a scale. I'm going off how my clothes fit, how my old clothes fit, how I've had to buy new clothes, how I had to do this or do that, right? So that's what I go by. And looks and what I look like naked, of course. So what I do is I assume that I'm not an overweight person. I just assumed it. Like, I believe, even though I still got a little bit of a pouch on me and whatnot, that I don't, okay? Like, it doesn't exist. I didn't have to go hit the gym and kill myself on a treadmill. I didn't have to go swim 50 freaking laps in a pool every morning. I didn't have to lift weights. I didn't have to do anything. And even though I have been to the gym with my friends here and there over the last few years, none of us are consistent, all right? It ain't like we show up every day and, we're goal-oriented and we're going to get the shit done. Like, no, we totally fail. Like, we need fired. We did not show up at the gym regularly like we were supposed to, okay? I'm not going to lie about it. We didn't. So, anyway, that's all I did, is I got out of that depressant, I'm fat stage. Like, if I had a picture, if I could really edit real good, because I can't really do that yet, I would put a picture of how I looked back then, and maybe in a future video I will. So I look like a chickmunk. Like, I legit look like a chickmunk. My cheeks were so big. Like, I was a cute chipmunk though. I was cute. Like, I ain't even knocking myself. I wasn't beautiful, but I wasn't ugly. Like, I was cute. Like, I'd kiss me. I would, because I look like a cute chipmunk, and my cheeks were just huge. And that's my dog's acting up again. So anyway, you got to change your mindset of being depressed. I'm overweight. Nobody will ever want me. I'm gross. I don't even want to look at myself, and I'm huffing and puffing going up a flight of stairs, and you just got to get that out of your head. You got to change your assumption. So what I did was like, fuck that. I'm not a fatty anymore. I'm back how I was. I'm thin. I'm doing my thing. And once I just kept assuming that, it eventually got into my subconscious through my mind. And let me tell you something about my brain, guys. I have to beat it like through like a brick wall. Okay. My brain is so narrow-minded that in order for me to get anything past the brain into my subconscious mind, I have to beat it into my head, my thick skull, over and over and over again. Okay. So, but I just assumed straight up that I was thinner, how not as thin, but thinner. And over the last couple years, I would say 3 years since I had that 21, 22, 23. I'm going 4 years since I've had that surgery. I've healthily been dropping the weight. And I'm to the point now going into 2025 to where I can pull out some of my old clothes and fit into them. There were some scrubs I was putting on for work that I couldn't, my ass was too big. I couldn't get them around my ass. But guess what? I put them on like a month ago. They went right over my ass, and I didn't look like Steve Urkel either. Like it didn't, they weren't all the way up here, like underneath my breast. Like, so it does work. Just assume it. What it did for me is it had me become more active. So I think that had a lot to do with it. Like, there was some things I was out doing that I would not normally do. Like, go take this walk. Like, I'm an outdoors person. I like the lakes, and I grew up with the woods behind my house and all that. I'm that kind of person, and I'm very redneck, but I've never been one to just like, oh, I'm just going to stroll. I'm going to take this walk. No, but I mean, not so much anymore, but back at the time it had me taking walks. So you never know how the unfolding is going to start. Okay. And then there was certain foods that I just loved. I ain't gonna lie, like, I loved it, and I would eat it. And then I started taking bites of these foods. I can't even eat them anymore because they would taste so bad. Like rotted coffee. Like, I put the food down. Like, there's certain things I don't touch anymore that I used to love. Mainly things with tomato juice. Can't do it. And just random things. So, how the unfolding happens with your weight loss journey is not your concern. And I will tell you right now, it will never be how you think. Things will just happen. As a female, you might never, ever in your life, if you're like me, ever had any desire, like, say, to buy, like, lingerie. Some of you have, okay? Because you're more girly. I never have, but I'll be damned if I wasn't, like, 4 or 5 months ago, because it was in the winter, it was before Christmas, and it's March now, and I was in the Walmart, and I actually realized I was stopped in front of the pajama aisle, you know, where they put all the, like, the granny nightgowns and soft, fluffy pants stuff, and I'm, like, looking at this really pretty negligee nightgown. I'm like, that ain't me. That's not me. Like, give me the big fluffy sweatpant thing looking things and a tank top, and I'm good. And throw my hair in a ponytail or something. But I was actually looking at that, and I was feeling it, and it's like kind of a knockoff satin from the Walmart, you know, and all that. And I'm like, this is really cool. And I almost bought it. But I'm like, would I actually wear it, or is it going to sit in my closet with, like, the bathing suits I never wore? I have bikinis I've never worn. I knew it would, so I didn't buy it. But that's what I'm talking about. There's certain things that it will do that out of your ordinary that I just chucked it up to, like, this is part of my unfolding, you know. It will make you or have you do things that you would not ordinarily do. So, just stay on top of it. Change your assumption. Let it guide you. Now, will it send you to the gym? I don't know, okay? Because it might, but it didn't me. It sent me out walking. It sent me to do things. I'm also sometimes part-time. I DoorDash. You know, I'm a dasher in my spare time. And last year, I was dancing. Well, I was dancing too, but I like to dance, but I literally had dancing on my mind. But I was out dashing, and I was I was getting more steps. Like, there was apartments with like 3 layers of steps. I'm like dying and need an inhaler by the time I got up there, right? But I realize now it just had me being more active. It wasn't going to kill me. I felt like it at the time, carrying a freaking 40-pack case of water or something, like, or 2. But honestly, it helped me build up a little bit more muscle, and it helped me get more and more in shape. So just let it guide you. Let go of control and resistance. Assume it is already done. Don't obsess over it. You got to help it along, though, because you'll get the nudges. It's called inspired action. And you will have the nudges, like, to be pushed to go do this or go do that. But if you're sitting there on your PlayStation or watching TV, and I'll tell you what, guys, watching, here's my TV. It's never on. Hardly ever. And if it is, it's really something stupid usually. But, or sometimes I watch Deadliest Catch. That's my guilty pleasure. But, turn it off. Turn it off. Stop sitting around. Remember, the whole key is to burn more than you're consuming. So, get more active. Let it guide you. Don't resist it. You won't see results right away, but the first thing that you're going to notice is not weight loss. I'll tell you that right now, because mine came out of nowhere. It really did. My aunt one day was looking at me. I think it was like a year ago, or the fall when she came up here to my area. And she's like, you lost some weight. And I was like, oh, did I? I didn't even realize it yet. But it already had me doing inspired action, and I was out here doing this, and I was out here doing that to align with my assumption that I have lost weight. Because if you truly believe it in a subconscious mind, it will become fact. Period. So that's how it did it for me. Don't resist it. And I'll go over, I think I might make a video on what is inspired and uninspired action. That could help some people. But when you feel the nudge, you feel the inspired action, go with it. Don't fight it. Just do it. Turn off that TV. It would have you buying less things at the grocery store too. Like, it did me. I'm assuming it would other people as well. Like, I no longer massively grocery shop. That's one thing it did do. I used to go on, I would say, a couple times a month, and I would buy like just all kinds of groceries, and then I would just stop at the store throughout the month to grab like the bread, or I don't like milk, but I have a daughter, so I would grab like a half gallon of milk or whatever. It did cut down on that. Not only did that save money, but it also, I'm only buying for so many days at a time. And guess what happens, guys, if you don't have the Walmart in your kitchen with all these snacks? You're not going to eat them. If you have DoorDash and that's your guilty pleasure, delete it off your phone. You got to be all in, but you can't obsess over it. So how bad do you want it? Change your assumption that it's already done and let the unfolding happen. And we will go over more of this on the channel as time goes. We really will. We'll touch more base on this, especially what is happening to me towards the end of my journey now that I'm getting closer to my goal. Okay? So stay in there, guys. You absolutely can lose this weight.